It's 8 o'clock right now, and I can tell you that many churches are full right now of people praying. People who should be at work, working hard to feed their families. And you let a religious leader let you tell you that the right place to be at 8 o'clock in the morning is a church on a daily basis. And then you turn around and go ask people, beg people for money to solve your problems. When you should work? Religion is setting us back. It's not about praying. It's about taking actions. Because even the Bible says that you praying without, faith without works is dead. And so let me tell you, we should stop playing these religious games. I insist. We must stop playing these religious games. Let us build strong institutions and put competence in positions of authority. Nigeria will be good. And this is why I'm supporting this Igbo man, not necessarily because he's Igbo. Because he's the only one consistently the last 5 years who's told us his manifesto, his antecedents, what he's done, what he's doing, and what he's going to do. And that is why Nigerians are resonating with him. Because we see what he's going to do. So our concentration, I insist that our concentration should be putting the right people in office. Because look at Dubai. Dubai is a Muslim nation. But Christian nations travel to Dubai all the time for holidays. Look at China. China is the number one economy. I don't care what anybody has to say. China is the number one economy in the world today. China is not a religious nation. China is neither Christian, nor Muslim, nor Buddhist, nor nothing. China is cracking down on any form of religion whatsoever. And yet it's the number one economy in the world. The only economy that did well during the COVID-19 pandemic is China. And yet it has nothing to do with religion. So I insist that we must put religion behind us. Religion is a personal thing. If you choose to be Christian, let it be personal. If you choose to be Muslim, let it be personal. But when it comes to nation building, competence, and the rule of law, these are the two elements that you use to build a nation and not religion.
Right. I mean, you're comparing us with China. I mean, China has been around for a long time. Even Saudi Arabia, you can't put us in that space because we're still a young country.
We can't, or you saying that I can't?
Yes. I mean, you can't put us in that space because, I mean, we are still developing.
Quick question.
China is
quick question, Charles.
Is a developing nation. But I'm just saying, can't we work around our differences, our religious diversities, and make it work for us?
We can, absolutely, if we stop thinking religious. Now, but to react to what you said, why is mentorship important? Why is mentorship important in any field of in any field of endeavor? It's because somebody puts 30 years in a particular field, right? And so you, as an upcoming young star, he takes you under his wings and he uses his 30 years experience to make you cut off almost 28 years of your journey to help to teach you how to copy and paste what he's done. So yes, China has been there a long time, but we, the young nations, should just copy and paste. It's made the job easy for us. What has China done from 1980 till now? In the early 80s, I had started listening to the news, and I knew that China was struggling in the early 80s. 81, China could not feed itself. And that was why China started the one-child policy. But China got it right all of a sudden. And today, about 30, 40 years later, China is the number one economy in the world. Question should be, what did China do? There is a manuscript of what China did, and that's what Nigeria should be doing. Copy and paste. So that's my reaction to that one. But then the point is, Nigerians, the National Orientation Agency, the Senate House, every governor, every leader, every religious leader, every institutional leader must come together, okay, and build a nation where religion does not matter, where color does not matter, where tribe does not matter, where what matters is the fact that we are all Nigerians and carry the same green, white, green flag. That is what should matter. Not when it comes to nation building, the only Bible that should matter is the fact that we have a nation that we belong to, and we must do everything possible to protect this nation. When every Nigerian becomes that deliberate and patriotic, then Nigeria will work.
How is that going to be possible in a nation like this? I'm just thinking about it because the cutoff mark to get into school in the north is far different from what we have here in the south.
Yes.
So how do you do that really without having to leave people behind?
You're talking about cut-off mark. Did you know that it's not the law, that the law that governs the rest of the Nigeria is different from the law that governs the North? And it is constitutional. Did you know that? Did you know that the Northern Nigeria is governed by a different set of laws from what governs the rest of the South? And it is in the Constitution. So these are not the problem. These are symptoms of the problem. We should find out what the problem is. Number one, our Constitution is faulty. I was one of the first people that started saying this before they started making it a national, thing, to talk about a bad constitution. Our Constitution is faulty. We need to rewrite our. I can tell you that the Constitution was not written by majority of Nigerians. Our Constitution was given to us by the West. You see, I understand this game much more than a lot of people. There are a lot of things I can say here, but we don't have that time. Probably another day. The influence of the West over African nations. We are carrying out a manuscript written by the West, given down to the presidents or the leaders of African nations and carried out letter to letter. So the symptoms that we're seeing as a result of our leaders not being individualistic in nature and then carrying down a manuscript that was handed them down to the West. Now, countries like Tanzania, for example, whose president was killed recently, refused to accept that manuscript. And then compare Tanzania and Nigeria today, you'll see the difference. It's a small nation. But look at the level of development that you will find in Tanzania and compare to the giants of Africa, the so-called giants of Africa. What's the difference? Magufuli refused to accept the manuscript handed down by the West and decided to individually work for his nation and bring it to a point where things work. Now, my best friend, who is the president of Rwanda, Kagame, he's a rising star because he's also refused to accept this manuscript handed down by the West. And look at his nation. Now, if you go to Rwanda right now and you want to talk about the Tutsis and the Hutus, they'll curse you. I have a friend, and I tried to raise the subject. She cussed me out. She said, listen, our nation has risen above this. We don't ever want to go back there. So it's not something we want to talk about. It's in the past, and that's where we want to leave it. We are forging a nation where Hutus and Tutsis are the same. And so that's what we should do in Nigeria. Build a nation where Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba should be one nation. And for crying out loud, Nigeria has more than 250 ethnicities. Why should Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo be the ones to dominate the conversation? What about the other 200 and something ethnicities? We have 4,001 language. Yes, it's a big nation. It's complicated. But we must carry everybody along. The discussion should not be Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba all the time. We must play down this thing and build a nation where an Igbo man will stand up for an Hausa man. And an Hausa man will stand up for a Yoruba man. No matter who you are, the polity will stand together against corrupt governments. That's what we should be doing a blueprint and finding ways to do, and not talking about religion.